North Carolina, and they immediately get the ball over to Deja Kelly, number 25 in white.
Michigan State in a man-to-man defense. They're going to try to gap it. They want to keep the ball out of the paint.
Julia Arol with a little deflection underneath.
But she's got to be careful now because she's the only size that Michigan State has, and they cannot afford her to get into foul trouble.
Inbound to Lexi Donarski, the Iowa State transfer. And India Navarre takes the shot. She was moved into the starting lineup for this game. Hageman with a turnover off her foot.
And Navarre moved into the starting lineup, I believe, to match up with the quickness and handle the basketball against Michigan State's full court pressure.
So you see Deja Kelly setting things up again. She's had to play more point guard this year due to injuries. Usby looking to go inside to Maria Gachting, and she is fouled. And we mentioned it, Julia Arol has got to be very careful underneath. That's her first.
And North Carolina very intentional, patient to get the ball inside. Usby has the shot there, but she denies it and looks for Gachting down low.
North Carolina has had a 15-day break. That is their longest of the season. They exited early from that ACC tournament, lost in the second round in their first game to Miami by a point. It's a long time to think about that.
Well, there's good news and bad news. Yeah, they got eliminated from the ACC tournament, but the rest that they need because there's a shortened roster for North Carolina.
Here's Arol at the free throw line.
And North Carolina, they're in that sagging man defense as well, but can't sag too much because Michigan State likes to shoot the three.
And that is normally a good shot for Arol. They're fine with her taking that. Just a little too much, the adrenaline pumping.
Joyner and Kelly going on the perimeter. That's a great matchup.
Gachting. Nice defense from Arol.
The transition defense for North Carolina, that's got to be at a premium today.
Vicky Hageman trying to go inside to Arol, but she's picked up her dribble. Fighting her way to the bucket, Jocelyn Tate, the transfer from Bowling Green. That's the first on Gachting.
Michigan State's going to hunt ways to get the ball into the paint. If you can score it, great. If not, they want the defense to rotate in. That'll open up their three-point shots.
Michigan State comes into this game having won 5 of its last 6 games. They lost to Nebraska in the Big Ten quarterfinals.
But Courtney, get ready, because if Michigan State scores it, they're going to pick up full court pressure.
They're 6th in the nation in points per game, and then they love, like you said, that defense. Lexi Donarski, known for a great shot and a great defender.
So Usby on the glass. She just continues to work. Number 1 in white.
Gachting got the paint to herself with Arol over the top. Gachting averages 9 points a game. She's already got 5.
She could get in double digits today because isolation, she's got the size advantage inside.
That's going to be an offensive foul on Moira Joyner. Well, Courtney Banghart, in her 5th season, she has brought this North Carolina team its 4th straight NCAA tournament appearance. And she told us during that 15-day break, they got to spend time on themselves because you don't know who your opponent's going to be. And that's rare that you get that time where it's just the focus is on you.
Well, you got a little break. You can get away from each other. Then you go back to work on yourselves. And I think that's the key thing to do in that timeout. It's you got to regroup. Hit the reset button as you approach the NCAA tournament.
If we had a 15-day break, would you need time away from me?
I would miss you tremendously, Courtney.
Alyssa Usby. Continue to watch her. Her game is so strong.
Robin Freilich wanted an offensive foul on that one. She took off down the sideline.
Joyner back out to Jocelyn Tate. And that's going to be touched by North Carolina.
Alyssa Usby, talk about the different things that she can do. The rip and take to the left, finish. That's strong.
All-ACC second-team selection, a finalist for the Cheryl Miller Award. She started every game the last 3 seasons. There's a good reason why.
Look, and the steal by Usby there.
Right away from Tori Osmond.
North Carolina doesn't look to have any rust from having those 15 days off.
Navarre driving, kicking, and an offensive foul. Tori Osmond steps up and takes the charge. That one going against India Navarre. Well, Robin Freilich is in her first season coaching Michigan State. She's the first coach to lead Michigan State to an NCAA tournament in their debut season. She spent 5 seasons as the head coach of Bowling Green, and boy, has she made this such an exciting team to watch, not just offensively. They got that defense in there too.
The system that she has brought to Michigan State is one that fans want to pay to come and watch. They shoot it, and then they get into that full court pressure. They've got to see the ball go through the hoop right now in order to get that set.
The kick out to Joyner. That's what they needed, hitting the 3. Moira Joyner, she's their leading 3-point shooter.
Michigan State makes a little over 9 threes a game.
Navarre avoiding the offensive foul call. 2 looks at it as Tiani Key tries to put back the rebound, but misses. Into the corner from Theron Halleck. Usby all the way.
That's beautiful basketball and transition. As soon as North Carolina got it, Usby got out of the gates with a quickness.
That was India Navarre that got a hand on that, forced the turnover. Usby has help over to Navarre. Alyssa Usby told us they are at their best when they're sharing the basketball and it's balanced scoring.
The intensity that North Carolina has brought, yes, they are scoring on the offensive end, but defensively, they have been on point today.
Offensive foul on Jocelyn Tate. We mentioned it when we come back. Robin Freilich and her improvements with the Spartans. We'll see how they compare to last year on the other side.
Get some of that offense going today because it's been North Carolina that came out that has been the dominant defensive team and producing on the offensive side.
And North Carolina's getting a lot of points in the paint. They're +8 in the paint right now. Breaking the press here, Alyssa Usby down the middle. Usby already at 6 points. She averages 12 a game, so halfway there.
And what is North Carolina doing? Breaking the press, not just breaking it to set up an offense, but break the press to score.
So what are they doing to stop and slow down Michigan State's defense, or offense right now?
Offensively, they are in gaps. They're not getting out of position. They're not having to over-rotate to give up open looks.
There was a little tumble under the basket between Usby and Ayrault, but both get up. Tiani Key with the rebound and the putback.
Key is giving North Carolina good minutes with Gotgang on the bench.
It's a busy weekend for the Key family. Her sister Tamari Key will be playing for Tennessee against Green Bay tomorrow in Raleigh.
Her mom, Tammy Brown, is in the stands here. Going to drive the 3 hours back to see Tennessee play.
That's an offensive foul against Julia Ayrault, her second. There's Tiani's mom, Tammy Brown. We mentioned it, you said, she's here today. After this game, she's driving about 3 hours to Raleigh to see Tennessee and her other daughter, Tamari Key, play tomorrow.
They live about 7 minutes from the University of North Carolina State. So when Tamari got in last night, she went and saw Tamari. She drove here. She's going to spend time with the baby girl.
Tiani.
And then she'll go back for that game. She's putting some miles on that car.
If only they had frequent driver miles.
I think she would like to have a driver.
Yeah.
Period.
8-0 run for North Carolina. They've hit their last 3 buckets. Pass pass intercepted by Abby Kimball. Up ahead to Hageman. And she's fouled going into the basket by Sydney Barker.
North Carolina had to approach this game understanding how many points Michigan State produces, that they had to get out to a good start. And North Carolina has, look, that's a terrific game plan. You have to deliver the first punch, and the Tar Heels have.
Yeah, when you're facing a team like Michigan State, who is 6th in the nation in points per game, there's no margin of error to get behind early. This is Dee Dee Hageman at the line.
Michigan State, you cannot get beat over the top. That's the most important thing in this press. Make North Carolina have to set up their offense.
North Carolina +7 in the paint right now.
Gotting's back in the game.
Oh, excuse me. They have 14 paint points. Michigan State has 7 total points. Espy will take it. She's up to 8.
Playing against a team that pressures you, full-court press, you can't panic late in the shot clock.
That's stolen away by Navarre, and it's going to be North Carolina basketball as Moira Joyner has just whistled for her second foul.
Navarre being moved into the starting lineup for North Carolina, I think that's a great move. She has been an asset on the offensive end, but defensively, you saw her there.
And just the hustle.
She's bringing it on the floor because she can play multiple positions. Transferring in, it's a great addition to North Carolina.
Yeah, came in from Stanford. She was actually the North Carolina Gatorade Player of the Year, so she is back in her home state. This is the first. Well, the NCAA Women's Championship continues today with the first round games and goes all the way through April 7th when we crown a champion. For more information, go to ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. Make sure your iPad is charged.
Absolutely. And your laptop.
Yeah, you're logged in, you're ready to go.
That's why I'm so happy we have the first game, first 2 games, and then we can go watch games the rest of the day.
Best time of the year. Tori Osment trying to step around Gotting, but misses. Deja Kelly wide open for the 3, a little too much. Another chance this time, Donarski.
North Carolina is locked in. Wow.
3-second call on Tori Osment.
North Carolina scoring in so many different ways. They've gone in the paint and then off an offensive rebound. Lexi Donarski lines it up and knocks down the 3.
How big of a get was Lexi Donarski? She spent 3 seasons at Iowa State. She was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year back in 2022, but also, I mean, that 3-point shot is so pure.
She is the total package. When you can get a player into Courtney Bainhart's system that will defend and has the ability to shoot the 3, that's like striking gold.
She's got 1 more season with the Tar Heels. And there's going to be an offensive foul on Maria Gotting, her second. Julia Arall is back in the game for Michigan State. She's got those 2 fouls, talking about number 40 in green.
In the Big Ten tournament, she picked up 2 early fouls. What did she learn, and how was she able to play disciplined enough to stay on the floor?
It was so important for them. Had to move to the 5 due to injuries. They don't have a ton of depth down low. Here's Arall. Stopped by Osby. And the ball movement so pure inside to Gotting. 16-2 run. be a foul underneath the basket. This one on Usby.
North Carolina running in transition like a well-oiled machine. Once they get the basketball, you saw Gokdang get out of the picture. She's already down the floor. Nobody inside for 6'3", 6'4", the easy finish.
Darren Halleck is at the free throw line right now for Michigan State. Keep in mind, their first quarter low in a season this year is 14 points, and they only have 7 right now.
That has everything to do with North Carolina's defense. North Carolina has taken care of the basketball. They have handled the press, and they have been able to get the ball inside at will.
Tar Heels have hit 4 of their last 5.
Courtney Banghart getting her starters some rest to end this first quarter.
Except for Deja Kelly.
Well, she doesn't need rest.
She doesn't get rest. Taken away by Halleck. And Michigan State needed that desperately. With the look, but it won't go. North Carolina plus 13 in the first quarter, looking so comfortable in the tournament. When we come back, flashing back to North Carolina's national championship season.
Tar Heels, for the first time, are the champions of women's basketball.
1 point's all you need, right? That was back in 1994, North Carolina's first appearance in the Final Four. They made it to the national championship. They won that national championship game. They're back in the tournament this year under Courtney Banghart for the 31st time.
I was at that game in '94, and I was sitting up in the second tier up, and when she hit that, I mean, it was like, holy cow!
Yes. That's the watered-down version of what you said.
Well, you know, it's early. We're barely at noon.
Yeah. North Carolina 7-0 when leading by double figures at the end of the first quarter. They are up 13. Moira Joyner connects on a 3, just the second made 3 for Michigan State. They average 9 a game.
They're going to need more of that. Michigan State is, because the defense of North Carolina in that first quarter was stifling.
Only 3 field goals for Michigan State.
Well, the rotation was there for North Carolina. They were able to take some offensive fouls or draw some charges. And then running in transition was a beautiful thing for North Carolina.
Here's Anya Poole working on A-Roll, who has 2 fouls, 3 seconds. A little short on the turnaround. So what adjustments would you make if you're Michigan State?
Moving A-Roll around, not just keeping her in the paint.
Up at the top of the key as Tate gets stuck. Joyner, the kick out to Halleck. Swatted away by Poole.
Just the rotation, the team defense of North Carolina has been so good.
Michigan State is shooting just 33%. Julia A-Rolt.
I'm telling you, no lead is safe when you're playing Michigan State because of their ability to shoot the 3.
They're on a 9-0 run. Seconds for the Heels. Turnover. And then Tate is fouled by India Navarre, her second. I think it was Julia A-Roll that stuck her hand in there, flipped that ball out.
And the offense for North Carolina, they need more size inside. That's where you see Key come in the game. Poole just doesn't give that separation like Key and Gokdang do.
Well, that's what Courtney Banghart was talking to us about. They actually do have depth in the post, which is a rare occurrence for her program.
Well, she needs depth in the post because she definitely doesn't have it on the perimeter.
Now, they've lost 3 McDonald's All-American point guards to injury. Hence why Deja Kelly is back at the point, and that's a travel on Halleck.
Now 2 players with size for North Carolina with Poole and Key. So they have options. You see a roll and rise action to get a high-low.
Usby tripped up and a travel. Seven turnovers for North Carolina, 8 for Michigan State. Winner of this game will get either South Carolina or Presbyterian in the second round. That'll take place on Sunday. We'll get to see South Carolina, that #1 overall seed, coming up at 2 Eastern on ESPN.
I'm looking at the matchup now. Michigan State really has 5 guards on the floor, causing Key to have to defend away from the paint.
Tar Heels basketball. Don Staley, Jolette Long, scouting. See which one of these teams they might face if they get the win later today.
You got 2 coaches having the pen working means there's a lot of information you got to write down.
You could learn a lot sitting over there with those 2. Heels get it back. Must be inside to Key. And she's fouled. Look, Tiani Key only played 2 minutes in their last game. She has given them really tough minutes today, already at 5.
With those 15 days off, that's where North Carolina could really instill the value of what Key could bring as they try to make their run in this NCAA tournament. And it has transferred over in this first game.
That's a big foul, too, because it takes Moira Joyner off the court with her 3rd foul.
And that's a primary score for Michigan State that's got to take a seat.
She shoots 43% from 3. Hageman thought about the step back. Osman rejected by Gakding.
And North Carolina defending without needing help, that's been key too, so that Michigan State doesn't get you over-rotated to give up the extra pass.
Already 4 blocks for the Tar Heels. 6 seconds. Tate trying to spin on Key.
Tate had an open jumper as opposed to on the drive.
Usby, she looks so good in transition. 10 points. Has not missed a shot, 5 for 5.
The efficiency of North Carolina, the right people are taking the right shots, and they are running hard downhill in transition.
11 fast break points for North Carolina. They average 8 a game.
Deja Kelly running the point for North Carolina. She sees the floor. She's got the strength to throw it the length of the court. And she knows Usby's going to be always trying to get out.
Well, we talked to her, too, about having to go back and play the point again and not just the 2. And she said, look, I'm thinking next level.
Right.
I'm not just going to be a 2 guard. I'm going to have to do some other things, too. So she's seeing it as a benefit.
If she wants to play at the next level, trying to get a spot in the WNBA, to be a versatile guard, that's a huge value.
Joyner is in the game for Michigan State with those 3 fouls. 22 in green. Pick and roll with Gakding. Oh, got it on rebound, but couldn't finish it.
back in the game.
Two seconds. And North Carolina's defense made that a really tough shot.
North Carolina can stay with the ball screen action, though, because if you pull A-Rod out of the lane, it's going to be a small guard in rotation.
In and out for Deja Kelly. Meanwhile, a 4-minute scoring drought for the Spartans.
Tate is just hesitant to take that face-up shot, and she's trying to drive in against the size of North Carolina. That's not working out so well.
Beautiful move from Maria Gachting. And Robin Freilich is going to call a timeout. North Carolina looking smooth in the first round.
Once you get possession, look, let the horses run, and they have done that for North Carolina. The Tar Heels making it look easy in transition. The thing that Andrea and Rebecca were talking about is how efficient North Carolina is. Experience. In most recent NCAA experience, it's been a minute since Michigan State has been there, and that experience is showing up in North Carolina's first game.
Yeah, this is the 4th straight appearance for North Carolina in the tournament. Meanwhile, Michigan State hasn't been in 2 years. Kicking to Joyner. He got it. That's her 3rd three-pointer.
What did I tell you in the break? Michigan State was down 5 threes. They've made 1. Can they hit 4 more before going in at the half?
You talk about experience. 37 combined experience games for North Carolina compared to 4 for Michigan State. On the move! 5 points for Julia.
The lead is safe when you're playing Michigan State.
Donarski shook the defense. Spartans are going to go fast. And a travel on Halleck.
First it was North Carolina running in transition. Now Julia A-Rod, she's bringing the pace for Sparty to try to get themselves right back in this thing. Well, the pace has picked up.
Yeah.
And then also North Carolina has missed shots, and Michigan State has come down and found good shots on the other end.
Michigan State only scored 10 points in the first quarter. That was a first quarter season low. Kelly over to Usby.
It's gotten tougher for North Carolina to score in the paint.
Halleck is fouled.
Farron Halleck is just a bundle of energy when she comes on the floor. She is going 100 miles an hour from one end to the other.
Got a lot of family pride playing for Michigan State. Her dad, Ty, was a fullback, a tight end, a linebacker for the Michigan State football team. Then he spent 8 seasons in the NFL. Her 2 brothers also played for the Michigan State football team. She had no choice but to play for Sparty.
I wonder if she even has any blue in her wardrobe.
Absolutely not. The Big Ten 6th Player of the Year. Just the 2nd player at Michigan State to win that award ever.
Look, there she goes again. She gambled on that one.
That's going to be a turnover.
But that all started with Halleck. She is playing out in the passing lanes now, not playing any more safe defense.
We're seeing that TNT. That's what they call it. Robin Freilich told us when Halleck and Osmond come in off the bench, they're the TNT.
That's awesome at the top, number 1 in green.
Hageman. Two and a half minutes without points for North Carolina. They're just 3 of 10 from the field in this quarter. Deja Kelly, a pretty shot. Just her first points, though.
Kelly just seems to have the answer. When North Carolina puts a little bit of a drought, it's Kelly that makes that big play.
Well, you mentioned that experience. She certainly got it. Julia Ayrault, first team All Big Ten. Don't forget it.
Can Ayrault take advantage of the size of North Carolina on the bench right now?
Tiani Key is waiting to check in for the Tar Heels. Some of that size.
Well, Michigan State looked to go 2 for 1.
Oh, that's the third foul on Julia Ayrault. So Ayrault and Moira Joyner both with 3 fouls for Michigan State.
Yeah, Ayrault got that one, I think, for the shove in the back. When the pass came in, she's got to be disciplined, let that one go.
She'll take a seat. Abby Kimball will replace her. Meanwhile, Tiani Key back in the game for North Carolina in Alyssa Usby's spot. Kelly.
Smooth, the answer.
Always. Five points, 2 assists for Deja Kelly. There's about a second difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
Keep an eye on Joyner, who's on the block right now. 3-point specialist.
Did you see her count it?
Sure did.
Look, North Carolina led by as many as 16 points, but Michigan State cutting it closer. They outscore the Tar Heels 17-12 in that second quarter. We'll see if Tori Osmond got this off in time.
Oh, plenty of time.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
So count it for her, 35-27 at the half. Back to Dub in the studio with a piece, and those are key offensive weapons.
Those 3 threes that Michigan State made,
yeah,
they were made by Joyner.
There you go. Winner of this game will get either South Carolina or Presbyterian in the second round. We'll see South Carolina, the #1 overall seed, coming up at 2 Eastern over on ESPN. And there's Maria Goctang with the up and in.
That's the other area North Carolina dominated in the first half. They were +10 on the glass.
A North Carolina team that has had 15 days to think about an early exit from their conference tournament. Lost by a point to Miami in the second round. And forcing the turnover here.
It's Tate trying to drive in. Well, they don't need to rotate with help. There's so much length in the paint for North Carolina. She's going to have to look to pull the trigger on some of those outside shots. It's the isolation, no double team coming.
And you know that Ayrault has to be careful and not get that 4th foul.
How can Michigan State manufacture points offensively?
Ayrault is a threat from behind the 3-point line. Goctang with the shutdown.
She is 6'3", long arms. And then Goctang gets the rebound on the other end.
The hustle. Usby's shot bounces around. Maria Goctang is everywhere, the transfer from Boston College. They'll swing it to Ayrault.
The transition is where Michigan State's got to try to find their offense.
Bixby on the floor. Six seconds now for Deja Kelly. And to the free throw line. That'll be against Dee Dee Hageman. Well, Tahina Paopao in South Carolina in the stands watching because they will get the winner of this game pending the results of their game coming up between South Carolina and Presbyterian. South Carolina 32-0. They're the #1 overall seed for the 3rd year in a row.
And loaded with talent. Dawn Staley can go 10 deep. Her rotations that she's able to go to can keep fresh bodies on the floor. And when that rotation happens, South Carolina doesn't lose anything.
Yeah, that's a big improvement from last year, that huge depth. Also, their outside shooting has gotten a lot better. Tahina Paopao has something to do with that.
And if you all have not seen Mylasia Full-Wiley, the
what
freshman,
have you been doing if you haven't seen her?
She is worth the price of admission.
The SEC tournament MVP as a freshman. First freshman to win that since Candace Parker. Have you heard of her?
You say those. If you mention my name with Candace Parker, that means it's something special. So Mylasia Full-Wiley has got to be excited about that.
Over to Tate. Michigan State's had a few good looks under the basket, but haven't finished. 16th double-double of the season for Alyssa Usby. That's the most since 2009 when Jessica Breland did it at the same amount.
The floor sweeper got to be careful about other end because Michigan State's coming with a fury.
You got to time your sweeping properly. Gakdang in the paint. Give her 13. She leads all scorers. She's got 6 offensive rebounds, too.
That's exactly what I was looking at, too. She has been all over the glass on the offensive end.
Osment taking baseline. I think India Navarre came over to help. Donarski in transition.
Another offensive rebound for North Carolina.
10 offensive boards today for the Heels, and that's a kick ball by Deja Kelly. It was at eye level, and she still kicked it.
That's some athleticism. The main way that Michigan State can get back into this ball game is scoring quickly in transition because it has been so hard to score in the half court against North Carolina.
North Carolina is going to take a timeout here. 39-27 here in the 3rd quarter in Columbia, South Carolina.
And Robin Fralick said it was at a coach's clinic and they seemed to have kind of a similar philosophy. They have a hunger to learning more about the coaching profession. They would pick each other's brains, but never, I don't think they could have imagined that they would have to face each other in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that was back when Robin Fralick was the head coach of Ashland, a D2 school. They won a D2 national championship there. Then she went on to Bowling Green while Courtney Banghart was at Princeton. It's going to be a travel call. But right now, the friendship has been put aside, Coach Peck, because Michigan State looking for its first NCAA tournament win since 2019. And meanwhile, for North Carolina, they're trying to get back into the 2nd round for a 3rd year in a row.
And North Carolina trying to get it done after losing 3 point guards. 3 point guards. And when you lose players to injuries that you felt you were going to be counting on, that makes everybody else step up their game to another level.
Yeah, that's going to be an offensive foul on Deja Kelly. On this drive, she got in there and extended her arm. They're going to go take an extra look at this. While they do that, we will step aside, but here's what they are reviewing at the monitor right now. An offensive foul whistled against Deja Kelly.
Activity with the extension of that arm and specifically with contact made above the shoulders.
So Moira Joyner, they have chosen to take the 2 free throws. Also, Michigan State will get the ball when she is done. One of 2 for Joyner.
Now, can this be a momentum swing for Michigan State?
They have only scored 1 point here in the 3rd quarter. Trailed by as many as 16 today.
The Spartans have got to try to find a way to get Gakdeng out of the paint. She's made it so hard to get anything easy.
Now taking an opportunity to drive. Man, when she can get going, she is a spark plug. Seven points for Theron Halleck. Navarre.
Before Gakdeng can get in the paint, look for an opportunity to score if you're Michigan State.
Osman, it makes its way over to Joyner, who's guarded by Donarski. 5 seconds here. Michigan State runs out of time.
Now moving Maria Gakdeng out of the paint is key. You watch Julia Arod, she floats out, gets off the paint, steps out to the short corner. That allows the drive.
North Carolina here on a 2.5-minute scoring drought. Usby, powerful move.
That's 12 points for Alyssa Usby.
Already has her 16th double-double of the season. 12 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists.
When we talked to her yesterday, she had that look in her eye that she was not ready for this season to be over.
Well, she told us that the key for them this year is they've had to have 2 strong leaders with all the injuries they've faced. She's taken on that role along with Deja Kelly.
Theron Halleck, the Big Ten Sixth Woman of the Year. Number 4 in green. Can she take over for Michigan State?
She's got 4 of their 5 points here in the 3rd quarter. Usby again. Out to Kelly. Makes them pay.
That leadership. Deja Kelly and Alyssa Usby are leading these Tar Heels today.
Key members of what they call the Core 4. Those 2 along with Maria Gakdeng and Lexi Donarski. Osman short on the reverse.
Ooh, that was going to be pretty if that had gone down.
Joyner the turnaround. 4 for 4 from behind the arc from Mariah Joyner. She came into this game shooting 60% from 3 over their last 5 games.
She just has to get those opportunities and be able to stay on the floor, not pick up any more fouls.
She's got 3.
Number 22 in green. She's at the top of your screen.
That's Joyner already with 13 points. The first time that she's missed a 3 today. That one a little off balance.
North Carolina has gone away from the isolation to the post and the paint.
You hear the cheers in the arena. That's because South Carolina is exiting to go to the locker room. The fans in Garnet are showing up for that 2 o'clock game with the #1 team in the nation.
North Carolina has been in control because of the leadership of Deja Kelly knocking down the three, but Michigan State has some three-point shooting of their own. Maura Joyner got to get her more touches outside the three-point line.
She got into some early foul trouble, picked up 3 fouls in the first half, but hasn't let it affect the rest of her game. And you can see Robin Freilich is trusting her to be out there. She trusted her to go back out in the first half with those 3 fouls.
Look, she's had to fight to be able to get on the floor to play. She suffered some concussion issues throughout her career. So a player that plays with appreciation to be out there, that's Maura Joyner.
And a turnover by Hageman. Going back to Joyner, she missed the final 15 games of her junior season with those concussions and was told she probably wouldn't play basketball again. So you know she was excited to hear Michigan State's name called on Selection Sunday.
2 things about Joyner. She loves the game of basketball, but she also loves Michigan State.
Yes, she does.
Tate was battling down low with Key. A little too much extra body contact.
3rd foul against Tate. Almost a 3-minute scoring drought here for North Carolina.
Ooh, the step back.
Not going for Donarski.
The footwork was great. The follow-through, not so much.
Michigan State scoreless for the last 2+ minutes. Ayrault stepping into it. And misses everything. 7.6 on the clock. Tori Osment will check back in for Michigan State along with Theron Halleck.
That substitution for defense. Try to hold North Carolina in these last 7 seconds.
Deja Kelly watching the clock. Tiani Key, baseline, a nice look, but rattles out. 10 minutes to go to decide who moves on to the second round. North Carolina up 44-35.
North Carolina, can Michigan State pick up the tempo and try to put the pressure and the fatigue on the Tar Heels?
I will say, North Carolina used to playing those minutes.
That's true.
Nothing new. They've had to do that because of injuries.
And North Carolina, the pressure of Miami in the ACC tournament was what allowed the Hurricanes to get back in the game, to pull off the 1-point win. What did North Carolina learn from that experience to be able to execute down the stretch?
Seconds for the Spartans. Joyner covered up. Made room for herself with a little bank shot.
I mean, barely made that shot just in time. I didn't see the officials give the signal to review that.
They credit it to her 15 points.
That was close. Joyner. Clock Oh, it's at 0. She did not get that off in time.
They're going to look at that in the next break. They went ahead and counted it for now. Feeding the beast inside, Maria Gachting.
Well, North Carolina going back to the isolation of the sitter in the paint. That's what worked so well for them in the first quarter.
Yeah, in the first half, they were plus 14 in paint points. They've got depth there and size.
Well, one thing Michigan State could look at defensively, maybe a box and one, really just worry about Deja Kelly on the perimeter, but try to slow down the production of North Carolina inside.
That's going to be a foul against Tori Osment. Well, now for today's Star Stories, brought to you by Honda. Moira Joyner with 15 points and Alyssa Usby with an extremely packed stat line. 12 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists.
Both of these players are going to have to get it done for their teams down the stretch. Can Joyner get open? More opportunities from 3. And then Usby's just done it all over the floor. Deja Kelly can handle that ball now.
They were coming after her, too. Gachting beat Tori Osment under the basket. She's got 17. She was only averaging 10 points a game the last 3 games.
But as long as Michigan State is going to give her single coverage, you've got to go inside all day long.
Give her the basketball. Osment left wide open.
Michigan State's got to think about looking at a zone because North Carolina's gone inside the majority of this game.
Second foul on Hageman.
Key on the baseline, sees the isolation for Gachting inside. Nobody there, nobody even close to her height in the paint.
Maria Gachting spent a couple of seasons at Boston College. She was a starter both years, but Courtney Bankhart told us we pushed her even more. We needed more from her on every single possession. She's also become more of a rim protector for them, and we've seen that show up today. 3 blocks. 2 seconds. And a shot clock violation that does not hit the iron.
Tori Osment is a 6-year player. She looks a little defeated right now. Her body language, she is feeling the pressure that her career could come to an end. She's got to pick it up if she doesn't want it to be over.
A graduate student out of Beaufort, Georgia. Stolen away by Deja Kelly. Pulls up over Halleck. Crushed it.
Kelly's feeling it. She's playing with confidence.
Double figures for her, 10 points. She's one of 3 Tar Heels in double figures. A-roll bank. On 6 made threes for Michigan State. They average 9 a game.
If Michigan State does not want their season to be over, they got to focus on the defensive end and get stops.
Deja Kelly thought better about it. She'll pull it back out. They had a fresh 20 to work with.
That's experience. She just knew better. No need to start jacking quick shots. The clock is your friend.
And a foul on Osment as she runs into Denarski. That'll be her second. Will get a breather as India Navarre checks in for North Carolina.
the decision of Courtney Banghart to start India Navarre, I think that was the key decision of the game. Put 4 guards on the floor, spread the floor, leaving the paint for the big.
Up ahead to Hageman, finishing through contact.
Michigan State ain't done yet.
8-point game. It's a foul on Hageman, her third.
For Michigan State to keep chipping away, score before North Carolina can get their defense set. That's one way to get yourself right back in it. Joyner, she's looking at the clock. That sense of urgency's got to kick in with his last 5 minutes of this ball game.
5 seconds. Usby flashing in the paint. A little drama on the finish. Back up to a 10-point lead. Foul underneath on Usby. But Alyssa Usby's stat line, 14, 15, and 6. Not bad.
Alyssa Usby has been steady Eddie for the Tar Heels. When the shot clock's running down, who do you count on? But Usby to finish things off. Leadership is what it's about in the NCAA tournament if you want to survive and dance.
One of these teams moving on to the second round to face either South Carolina or Presbyterian on Sunday. That second game coming up at 2 Eastern over on ESPN.
Watching Michigan State practice yesterday, they fly around in that press, forcing turnovers, getting quick outlets in transition. They've not been able to do that today against North Carolina.
It's going to be a foul against Jocelyn Tate, her fourth. By a Tar Heel in the past 4 tournaments.
And she was all about business yesterday. When we talked to her after practice, the look in her eye was, let's get this interview done. Yes, I've got to get back to the hotel, study up, be ready for today.
That's a veteran.
That's the mentality you have to have in the NCAA tournament. Good luck for Julia Arod up top.
She's beaten down there. See the scratches on her shoulder?
You got to crawl to play for a championship.
Apparently Wolverine is also playing down low in this game. Look, it's tough, it's physical. We haven't seen anything, there's nothing dirty, nothing extra.
It is part of the women's game.
That's
they
right.
are strong women that play this game.
And there's no way Julia Arol wants to come out of this basketball game.
No, she doesn't want her season to be over. Neither does Alyssa Usby.
Goodness gracious. 16 points, 16 rebounds, 6 assists. No ACC player has had 15 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 assists in the tournament since 2000.
And Usby doesn't look even winded. No sign of fatigue for number 1 in white.
First foul against Tiani Key of North Carolina. Bounces up and over the top of the backboard. Right out the gate, North Carolina from the opening tip, they threw the first punch in this game. They looked aggressive. They only allowed 10 points by Michigan State in the first quarter. Spartans only hit 3 field goals in that first 10 minutes.
I think that it started on the defensive end. They demonstrated that they were able to cover Michigan State. Then they were coming down on the offensive end and scoring. That's what you've got to do in the NCAA tournament. Establish yourself defensively. Post-game, Key and Gakdeng and Usby inside. That has been tremendous for the Tar Heels.
4 seconds here. Kelly has it taken away by A-Roll. Short on the first shot, but she'll get the free throws. Third foul against India Navarre. First one is up and good, but more first round action coming up. 2 Eastern over on ESPN. Presbyterian, who got their first tournament win all time on Wednesday. They'll meet up with number 1 undefeated South Carolina here in Columbia. Then at 4, Rice taking on Angel Reese and the defending national champions LSU at 3 seed this year. Both games also on ESPN.
Now for LSU, remember last year Poa went down in the semifinals of the SEC tournament. She has been back with the team. Hoping to see her in a few minutes at least in the game today.
Five seconds. We got to put it up. And North Carolina ran out of time. Points, 9 rebounds, a player that has had to move to the 5 this year. She missed a couple of seasons ago with a foot injury. She's been through so much, but got to share a really special moment with her mom when the postseason awards came out in the Big Ten.
Well, her mom told me that she was at work and one of the media people from Michigan State called Kimberly Arod and said the awards are about to come out. So she scrolled through on her phone and then she saw that her daughter was first team All Big Ten. So she calls Julia and says, "What are you doing?" Julia was on her way to Best Buy to get some earphones, something for her earphones. She's like, "What's going on?" And she said, "Did you see the news?" And she hadn't. So her mom got to break the news to her that she had made first team All Big Ten. And it was so rewarding because she's had to fight back from injury. She scored single digits last year, only almost 3 rebounds a game. And to make that increase in this season was so rewarding. Her hard work, determination, it paid off.
And when they asked her to move to the 5, she said, "Yeah, whatever I got to do for my team." So her mom, Kim, watching in the stands.
And her mom said to me, it's never been about awards for Julia. All she cares about winning. So when this came, it was so unexpected. She said they were both got so emotional with receiving that accomplishment.
Such a cool story. Alec cutting to the basket. Still plenty of time for Michigan State here.
Absolutely, if they can get stops. But what they have got to do, Michigan State, on a missed shot from North Carolina, they got to keep them off the glass.
That's going to be a foul against Halleck as she collides with Usby. First one on Theron Halleck. So Usby will go to the free throw line, minute 17. North Carolina looking to get to the second round for the 3rd straight season. Must be just a 58% free throw shooter.
That'll be something to keep an eye on. If Michigan State can come down and score foul quickly, Usby's who they want to put at the line. Patrick just talked about rebounding. Michigan State, that hurts really bad. On a missed free throw, you got to come up with that rebound.
When you start fouling if you're Michigan State.
You could start now. I mean, you want to lengthen the game, especially if Husky gets the ball.
2 seconds on the shot clock. They get a defensive stop. So 56 seconds now. Michigan State down 8.
They still have 2 timeouts. They need to go score quick strikes. But they have the ability to shoot the 3.
And Moira Joyner is at the bottom of your screen, number 22. And that's going to be a foul on Didi Hageman from behind the three-point line against Lexi Donarski. Hageman, a 75% free throw shooter.
Now, North Carolina, they have 3 timeouts.
Would you use one here if you're North Carolina?
If I'm North Carolina, I do. I want to get the ball away from Michigan State's basket. The further distance you can. If there were a mistake to happen, have a turnover, I want it closer to my basket than theirs.
In the women's game, they can use a timeout under a minute to advance the basketball. Toya Banghardt's going to let them inbound it.
And Michigan State can bring that full court pressure.
And now Banghart uses the timeout. So she was able to get that timeout called before the ball was inbounded, so she will be able to advance this, and she does.
And she wants to take the ball out on her side of the floor. I think she wants to be able to inbound it so that her ball handlers can get it and go drive hard to the right side of the floor. If you're Michigan State, what you're trying to do now is you're trying to get a 5-second call, if at all possible. You're going then for the steal, and if you don't get the steal, you got to foul right away.
Any foul by either team will put the opponent at the free throw line. It's a 7-0 run for Michigan State right now. They've trailed by as many as 16. You got to know that North Carolina has in the back of their mind their last game when they lost to Miami in the ACC tournament by a point after they led by 14 points.
Not only did they lose by a point, North Carolina had 3 opportunities.
Yes.
To win that game, and they just weren't able to get over the hump.
Can they hang on here and get to the second round? India Navarre to inbound. To Donarski, and now you would expect Michigan State to foul right away.
You got to foul.
They get a steal instead, up ahead to Hageman.
Hang on.
Got a foul again?
Yeah. Oh.
Deja Kelly down right now. Tori Osment is going to be whistled for that foul.
That was an unexpected collision. Deja didn't really have a way to brace herself.
Let's take another look at it.
I don't think there was anything intentional there.
The foul was on green number 1. The play is under review for an intentional foul.
So an intentional foul, not a legitimate attempt to make a direct play on the ball, contact to negate an opponent's advantageous position, excessive hard, unnecessary contact of an opponent. I think she was trying to go after the basketball.
Well, yeah, and I don't think it was intentional, the collision that happened. I think that was just inadvertent contact that the two made.
So it was called a personal foul against Tori Osment, her third. So they will go back and look at this play. They will also double check the clock as they go through this review. Currently showing 30.6 seconds. North Carolina up 3.
I don't believe that this should be upgraded. I think it should just be a common foul.
Jenna Cross will give us that answer right now.
The common foul on number 1 for Michigan State will remain. 2 shots from number 25 for North Carolina.
So Deja Kelly will be the one shooting 2.
You saw Tori Osmond come over to Deja Kelly and check and say, "Are you okay?" She didn't intend to do it.
Deja Kelly is 0 for 4 from the free throw line today. Usually a good free throw shooter at 71%. That was big.
But when the game's on the line, Deja Kelly's going to be money.
You would expect Michigan State to call a timeout and advance it?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to get possession of the ball. You can't try to advance it before you call that timeout.
And she dribbled before Robin Fralick got the timeout called, so they cannot advance it.
If you try to make a pass or advance the basketball and call timeout, you have to take it out from where the ball was, where the timeout was called.
So Tori Osmond started dribbling, and then Robin Fralick called the timeout. That prevents them from advancing the basketball. So instead, they'll have to go the length of the floor with 29.8 seconds left, down by 4.
So now what North Carolina's got to do is they got to make sure that any of Michigan State's players have to come back to get the basketball. You don't want to get thrown over the top. You also don't want to have so much pressure on the ball that you get beat and get over-rotated. For Michigan State, now you've got to get, number 1, you've got to get the ball in, and you've got Hageman that can go with quickness. You get the ball to her. She doesn't have to necessarily have a pull up for the 3, but she's got to go with the first possible basket possible.
Here's Hageman. Moira Joyner is at the bottom of your screen. She is one of their top scorers today. Back to A-Roll. Driving in on Key, who gets the block. So now 18 seconds showing on the shot clock.
How big has Key been in her minutes today? And I mean that literally.
Tiani Key, 5 points, 6 rebounds. They're double checking the clock right now. It's currently showing 18.
Play is under review for timing.
Give us the official word here.
Yesterday in practice, how many underneath out of bounds plays did Robin Fralick draw up? And they were scoring on all of them for 3. It was the situation.
Reset to 19.3 and 19 on the shot clock.
But the situations that she took her team through prepared them for this situation right now.
They need 4 points. They've only got 19 seconds to do it. Osmond cutting to the basket. There's a start. And now Courtney Banghart will use her timeout. She can advance it if she wants to.
This was one of the ones that they ran yesterday. A lot of movement with shooters popping out and a curl around. Osmond curls around Joyner and is wide open for the 2. Oh, that's a great execution there to get an open 2 and then able to jump right into the press.
So each team now with 1 timeout as North Carolina uses their second to advance the basketball. Michigan State trailed by as many as 16 points. But they have clawed their way back into this game. They're on an 11-1 run.
Alexa Donarski fouled Hageman. She hit 3 free throws and then the steal. And again, Hageman with 2 that was able to cut into the lead. Osmond on the underneath, out of bounds for the easy two, and Michigan State just down 2 right now.
18.5 on the clock. You would expect them to foul immediately if they don't get a steal or a 5-second call. Michigan State has not won an NCAA tournament game since 2019. North Carolina trying to get back to the second round for a 3rd year in a row.
I don't put anybody on the ball. I make Alyssa Usby catch the basketball. She's the lowest free throw shooter on the floor right now. You also have a double team. You have an interceptor from the person who's taking the ball out. If you're Michigan State, you're trying to do everything you can to get that steal, but nobody right now has Key in the backcourt.
And that's where they'll go, over to Tiani Key. She'll wait for help, up to Navarre. Michigan State running out of time. They got to go foul. 12.6 on the clock when Tori Osmond fouls Lexi Donarski.
Tiani Key was in the backcourt. Michigan State didn't know she was back there.
Donarski, the transfer from Iowa State. First trip to the free throw line today. You saw her numbers.
Michigan State does have one more timeout. I don't think you got to use it right here.
Two-possession game. Robin Freilich this time calls it before the inbound. She can advance. That's her final timeout. 12.6, down by 4.
Now, Michigan State, they have got to, number one, get the ball in, but you've got to look for the three. You've got three-point shooters. Lexi Donarski fouled previously on a three-point shot. That's one thing Courtney Banghart is talking to her team about. Do not foul a three-point shooter. A 2 cannot beat you.
Lexi Donarski, though, pretty big free throws she just hit back-to-back.
She was cool as a cucumber. She's been there before. If there's anybody you want there at the free throw line, it is Donarski.
She hasn't missed a free throw since January 28th. I strategically did not say that before because I didn't want to be the one to jinx her.
You scared?
It was on the screen.
You can't be scared in the NCAA tournament. You got to be fearless.
Want to let you know, if you're looking for MTSU and Louisville, they're playing right now over on the ESPN app. We'll get you there as soon as we're done here. Moira Joyner to inbound for Michigan State. They need 4 points.
Look for Joyner's one of the better three-point shooters. She give it up. Look for her to possibly get it back.
They'll swing it to the corner to Halleck. In the corner pocket! Down by 1. And Courtney Banghart will use her final timeout. Farron Halleck, the Big Ten 6th Player of the Year, with a monster shot. She has been the spark plug all day.
You see Halleck at the top of the key. She wants it. She's over there. She knows she's by herself. It took a couple of passes to get there, but on the rotation, just enough time to bury it.
Timing is now under review.
They're looking at the timing here.
She was ready for it.
Making sure the right amount of time is on the clock.
I'd say 5.3. Yeah.
They put 5.4 on the clock is what it's showing right now. So it's when the ball clears the net. They've got 5.4 on the clock. Neither team has a timeout.
But they're leaving Key is by herself down underneath Michigan State's basket.
And Robin Freilich just pointed it out. So Arald has moved over there. Nobody on the ball. And Hageman is going to foul before it gets in. So no time comes off the clock. And Deja Kelly will have free throws coming.
But Michigan State does not have a timeout to advance the basketball. So make or miss, Michigan State's got to go quick.
And these free throws, big time for Deja Kelly. She's just 1 for 6 today.
Oh, that's big. On to make, North Carolina's got to make sure they don't get beat over the top.
Two-point game. Tar Heels get it back. And Michigan State has to foul. 3.2 on the clock. Kelly will get the chance to do it again. The leader, the do-it-all player for this North Carolina team, trying to get them back to the second round. Up to a three-point game. Ties it, but North Carolina gets it back. No chance for Michigan State. Usby with a big rebound. North Carolina on to the second round. It wasn't without drama, but they will take it. We told you Alyssa Usby was going to give you that blue-collar, tough-nosed mentality, summed up in the very last play.
And the area where North Carolina separated themselves, offensive rebounds, 18-6. And look at Usby sealing the deal with that offensive rebound.
Third straight 20-win season for North Carolina. It'll be their third straight second-round appearance. They will get the winner of South Carolina and Presbyterian coming up in about 30 minutes. But for now, let's get you to MTS.